Hey friendos, we are going to take Protection Gambit up against Taskmaster on Standard with Sinister Assault. This is a practice round for Solo Champions League 1501. We got to deal with this initial Hydra patrol and kind of like the hand in terms of being able to get some stuff down. One thing we could do is use Thief Extraordinaire to clear Hydra patrol, and then although we'd be exhausted, when we flip, we can use charged card to then clear the Hydra regular. And I kind of like that plan as a backup plan. So that backup plan, if I want to get these two things down also as backup plan, means I can ditch two cards. Maybe that'll come up with something a little more useful, like our armor or something like that. But if not, then we have a full hand to play. Definitely found with Gambit, at least this Gambit build, you get some pretty junky hands where you can't really play anything, so I'm hesitant to try to dig for the armor without having backups in hand. So I'm going to do this. Great, that doesn't change anything. So right off the bat, what we're going to do is we're going to use our Thief Extraordinaire. We grab two cards. We just have to hope one of them has two boost icons on it. All right, so we're going to use Hobgoblin to clear those two threat, and then the other one goes back on top of the deck, and so we're going to take 2 damage when we flip. Oh, actually interesting, we did that first, which means we can now go get our Hydra regular. And then we shuffle. Ah, interesting. I haven't tried it that way before, so that was something I didn't realize. So we might actually take fewer than 2. Could take 3 damage, but it's probably likely we'll take fewer than 2. And then we will flip. Force response 2, really good to see that go. That's worth 2 damage in my books. Add a counter, which is easy to forget to do. Get Gambit's staff and electrostatic armor down. For 1, 2, play charged card for 4 to clear that and be good. All right, so we got natural ability. We're going to be able to defend successfully, and then next turn that'll take us up to 3. So Rogue will only cost 1, and we'll still be able to also afford a charged card. So maybe if a minion comes out or something like that, we'll be able to deal with it. So start of the turn, we add a threat. Because Rogue is coming out and she's actually pretty good at helping us deal with threat, I think it's safe to add another threat there. Yeah, let's do that. He's going to go to attack when an enemy attacks. Exhaust the staff, deal 1 damage to the enemy. We're going to defend and play natural ability, natural agility. Put 1 charge counter. We're now at 5 defense, which is as high as the largest attack that we'll get. If you're in hero form, take a damage. Okay. So we defended against an attack, deal 1 damage to the attacking character. Encounter card. Hunted by Hydra, we get Insight 1. Please do not discard Rogue. Take a damage. Phew. Okay, start of turn 2, we get a 3rd charge counter because we got that bonus 1. Which means we can get Rogue down for 1. Which means we do not have the extra card anymore. And let's just ditch that. So Rogue, I think we'll just use her for her thwarting, basically, because we can continue to defend. Hopefully we're drawing into things. Well, maybe the one time we'll defend with her tough and then dig into that, because we still don't have that much infrastructure for the good defenses. So we'll ditch that so we can dig for the armor. We won't activate Rogue yet. Okay, now we're going to get the armor. We're going to get hard to ignore. That's great. Since we have expert defense and the armor only costs 1, we can actually defend ourselves. Rogue doesn't have to do it for us. So we'll there's a very small chance. No, it's fine. We'll do the force response and we'll add another threat there. He'll attack, we'll block expert defense. When he attacks, he takes the damage. We've got defense of 6, attack of 5. We're good, and take another damage from there. And encounter card. Insight 2, 1, 2, and villainous. Okay. It does change things a bit. It's a pretty tough choice, actually. So, start of turn 3, we do this. That means we can use hard knocks to clear Doc Ock, but then unfortunately we can't get our armor down, which really stinks. But we could hold our armor. We have enough stuff in our hand. We could hold our armor for the next turn. I guess that's the best we'll do. So we do hard knocks with molecular acceleration and that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're paying at this first, so we spend this card, put a charge counter on. We're going to use 2 charge counters to make this a 6, which defeats the enemy and gives us tough. We will now get Rogue to start helping us out with this. 1, 2. We will save our armor for next turn. Villain phase 3. Turn 3. Villain phase. So we get 1. We're not going to take the damage, obviously. We don't want to ping off our tough. We'll let him attack. I think we won't defend. We'll just take it. This is still initiated, so that's 1 damage. And then, okay, there goes an advance and encounter card. Okay, the one that's gained piercing, we're not probably going to get tough again this game. I think we'll just let the 1 extra attack sit. Turn 4, we can get the X-Jet and the armored out. Rogue can thwart for 2. We're still not going to have much for threat removal. I think we'll do 1 there, and don't forget the charge counter. X-Jet, 1, 2, 3, Guild Armor. Order of operations here. I guess order of operations is staff first. Use the X-Jet. Get the armor out, and we're done. Okay, so we're going to add 1 threat here. We will add 1 extra. Oof. We're going to have to flip at some point. Not yet. So we'll take the extra threat for the forced response. Goes to attack, we'll play Defiance and block. Goes to attack means the staff goes. Defiance, we just ditch that. We don't actually have to see it. We have blocked evenly because that's for 3, which means we can untap, 1 damage, and encounter card. Okay, we cannot deal with that this turn. And we don't want to flip because everything's in pretty shaky grounds right now. So turn 5, we will start by adding charge counter there. We can get somebody out of here next turn. So if both of these two team up on there, 1, 2, 3. I think we avoid Royal Flush as much as I'd like to play Endurance instead. Let's reduce the way we can take damage from this next turn. We've already seen 1 advance. Hold an Expert Defense. Hold a Royal Flush in case something wonky comes out. And then did we remember? We did remember to add a marker. Okay, so 1/2 threat will take a damage for the force response. He goes to attack, takes a ping damage. We have 6 resources, so we could play Royal Flush and Preemptive Strike. Alternatively, we wanted to get Hard to Ignore down. We're not going to have anything else. So we're going to get somebody that pops out of Captured by Hydra, and it'll potentially want to use their kicker, so that's 1 more card. Which means Preemptive Strike's not the right one. We want to do Defiance. And then we have some flexibility based on who pops out. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So we'll play Defiance and block. So it's for 3. Okay, there's our other advance. We ready. We do another ping damage. Gets an encounter card. Hunted by Hydra. Okay, stinky. So Insight 1, and we're in Hero, so we're going to take a damage and discard a card at random. Royal Flush. Turn 6. Rogue finishes off her awesome work by freeing our captured ally. We grab somebody out of here, White Knight. Interesting. Well, because we still have X-Jet, we can actually use the kicker on this to get 2 more cards. Oh, so we can really start dealing with our threat. Now, did we remember last turn to add 2 threats? Because we had the... Yes, we did. 2 threats. 2 threat. So I think obviously Moon Knight will want to do 1, 2. Oh, Rogue's defeated. Do we do double Hard to Ignore? Really get that thing under control? I think that's right. Save Expert Defense. Do 2 damage. And then did we... Oops. Did we add a counter this turn? Blah, 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 moves. We did not. Probably forgot another one, but we'll just say that's where we're at. I think we only spent 2, but we had 2 extra, so I think that's right. Okay, Professor X finally, X-Mansion a little late. It's good at keeping Rogue alive. So if we did Professor X, we actually have Professor X is really going to help us out there. Not quite ready to flip. Would this be a good turn to advance him? We use preemptive strike. So we have 7 resources. Professor X and X-Mansion would be 7, so we're definitely not going to do that. So we could do preemptive strike. So let's plan to rely on preemptive strike. So start of the villain phase, we'll get 1 here, and we'll take a damage. He'll go to attack and take a ping damage. We're going to defend and then plan to use preemptive strike. Oh, but we don't even need to use it, so we just defended successfully. Because it's when it's turn face up. So he does not take the damage. We ready. Successful defense means he takes the damage and gets defeated, so we're going to get an extra encounter card this turn, and then we're going to get an extra encounter card next turn. And double hard to ignore. Now we get our encounter cards. Okay, Scorpion, bit of a tricky friend to deal with. And that. Turn 7. So are we going to have to ignore Scorpion for a turn? Guess we could block Taskmaster with Moon Knight and then block Scorpion with Gambit. So I guess first thing, add a counter, thwart Professor X, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I guess we could stun Scorpion actually. That's pretty good. 1, 2, 3. So we stun Scorpion, and then 1, 2, 3 off the main scheme, or if this is finally under control a bit. Let's take our 2 damage for photographic reflexes. And then get the X-Mansion down, or choose to not take an extra encounter card this turn. Well, Professor X can block Taskmaster. Oh, does that actually mean if Professor X is going to block, then I'm going to lose on my hard to ignore. So I think I want my block. Which means I didn't want to stun Scorpion. Oh well. Let's plan to save it all and wait a turn. So we'll get 1, and then We'll add one there. We will Polaris, preemptive strike. Yeah, we'll just block straight up. If you're in hero form, take a damage. Ooh, it's getting dicey. And then, oh, last turn, did I forget to add a counter? I did not. The staff should have gone off. Ready, do a ping damage. 2 threat removal. Scorpion is stunned and doesn't actually do anything. Did I forget to activate Gambit? Let me go have a look. No, I didn't. I made the very weird choice of dealing with photographic reflexes instead of taking this tough off. That was weird. Anyway, so stunned is gone. Encounter card, we got one of these. Turn 8, we add a counter. Professor X is gone. We cannot clear all this nonsense. Might have to just plan to flip this turn. Take that down by 2. Not even clear the tough. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Shuffle. So I think we'll bring Polaris in. She can protect us from the force response damage. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. She can ping off the tough here. We can, before we can bring this out, then we can flip, heal 1, heal 3. Scary. So we got 1. The force response doesn't happen because I'm not in hero mode. We get schemed against for 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get schemed against by Scorpion for 3. 1, 2, 3. And we get 2 encounter cards. Oh, and then once from the Hydra Soldier. Okay. Don't have a great way to deal with that. And top 5 cards of their deck is a thwart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not a thwart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scary. Turn 6. Can we clear captured by Hydra? The answer is no. We can definitely defeat Scorpion. We'll have to just live with Hydra Soldier. I have to take one thread off the main scheme, or else it's going to spill over. I could use my special ability. My only concern is if I fluked out and draw just a bunch of zeros. What have we seen from the standard set? So the only thing is these Hydra hunters and the stuff from the standard set that has no. So there's another advance and a one Hydra hunter. I think we got a good chance of thwarting from more than one. So let's do this from alter ego. And then there's a non-zero chance we'll be able to seed a 0, which then will not ping off our tough. Okay, well, we're going to seed a 1. Take 2 thread off the main scheme, then we flip. When we flip, we take 1 damage, as we know. We're going to add a counter. We are going to play Hard Knocks. For 6 to defeat Scorpion and get tough again. Polaris will help us deal with that, I guess. We can do Unflappable and Armored Vest. And that's a turn. Preemptive Strike, potentially if we want it. 2 threat, we're going to not take the damage, so we'll add 1 there. Goes to attack. We'll block so we can trigger our stuff, but we don't actually need to play a card. If we really want to, we could play Preemptive Strike. 2. But it's probably want to do Royal Flush and something else. So I think we'll not use that for 2 damage. This goes off our tough. That would have triggered first. Then armor goes, we're back. This goes down to... Oh, what if I plan to defend against Hydra Soldier and leave those, actually? It's going to give me an extra encounter card this turn, but deal with Hydra Soldier. I like that plan. Okay, Hard to Ignores go off. 1, 2. Unflappable goes off. Draw a card. Keep in mind I'm cheating, because that Gambit staff needs to happen when the enemy attacks, not after I've seen the card. I acknowledge this. Okay, now Hydra Soldier attacks. Gambit will block again. Before that, we'll hit the Hydra Soldier. Then after the successful block, this gets pinged, which gives us an encounter card. And we get 2 of these. Yuck. Oh, we're definitely going to be taking a retaliate damage when we do our Royal Flush. And we get attacked again. Okay, well, we get attacked. Polaris will block. So 1, 2. Oops. This is hero phase. We get 1 on there. Definitely going to Royal Flush. So that's going to be place 1 charge counter on Gambit. Yoink. Get rid of 3. 1, 2, 3. Do 1 more because of add 1 more because of molecular acceleration. Then we do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We take 1 round of retaliate damage. We get another Hard to ignore down, and a crew quarters. Okay, so we get 1, 2. We'll take the damage from that. It's going to attack. We will do the ping damage with the staff, and then play expert defense. So we have 4, 7. We're good. We untap. We do a damage. We clear 3. We draw a card. So do we just finish this off and accept that we have a very, very crappy scheme score? I feel like I can't keep this at bay much longer. And we can't flip to deal with it, such as the challenge of Gambit. I guess so. So we get charge counter, we do royal flush. And that is a crummy, crummy score, but we won! We won.